guys, my name is Talia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've got another video today for you guys. I said every Sunday I'm going to post, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Even if I feel like it or not. Today I did not feel like it at all, but I said I'm getting up and we're getting this done. Today's YouTube video is about stop letting your job and money define you. This is a heavy topic for me at the moment, especially because I recently left my job that I was at for 3 years and I decided to go full-time. A different job that I had that I really enjoyed. I decided to stop working the other job because it wasn't feeding me, I didn't feel happy, and it wasn't the path that I wanted to go down in the future. So I said, what's the point of wasting time in a job just for money and not enjoying it? And I ended up getting let go from the job that I did enjoy. And during this time, I've definitely had a lot of time to reflect on myself, my wants, my needs, my passions, things that I enjoy, things that I don't, things that I want to put up with, things that I don't want to put up with, my bad habits, all of that. And one thing that I noticed was that I held my position in a job so highly, like I literally let it define me. I literally let the thought of me not having a job, that means I'm worthless, that means I'm useless. Like, what am I doing? I have no worth, I have no value. But how does that make sense? I'm literally attaching myself to money. I'm literally attaching myself to a job. And bear in mind, jobs and money are things that can be taken away in split seconds, and same way they can come to you in a split second. Like, money is the lowest frequency. That is something we should never ever be worrying about. Like, please, I'm attaching my worth, attaching my value to these things that literally can be taken away in seconds. So that means once it's taken away, I'm a nobody. I'm nobody. I have no value. I have no purpose. When that's not true. This is what a lot of us do. We work hard, put our all into these jobs. Like, we'll literally not get sleep, like do the most for these jobs that don't care about us, for it to get taken away from us in seconds, which it can happen to anybody. So don't ever think you're immune to it. And then what happens then? You have no identity, you have no purpose, you don't even know who you are without that job. This is why I feel like God put me in a position to be let go from my job, to have this time, to have this kind of like space alone, because if I didn't, I would never be able to confront these issues and just understand that I have a lot of worth, I have a lot of purpose, I'm an amazing person, I'm not useless, I'm not a failure without having a job, a man-made thing. I feel like a lot of us need to understand that we are not our jobs, and we need to learn our value and our purpose outside of these jobs and outside of money, because if not, when it's taken away, we're literally stuck in a rut, depressed, sad, anxious, feeling low, feeling down. The first thing is that people ask you is, what do you do? What's your job? Straight away, that becomes your identity. Your job becomes your personality, money becomes your character, and then when the title disappears, you are nobody. You have to sit down and reflect. If your job disappeared tomorrow, would you know who you are? Would you still have that same confidence? Would you still have that same happiness? Would you still be able to have a smile on your face? Because you're completely lost and your identity has been taken away from you. Like, of course we need money to survive and all these things, but my point is not attaching your identity to a job. And because we put so much time into these jobs, so much time into money and all these things, you forget what actually defines you, and that comes down to character, your habits, beliefs. Like, what do you believe in? What values do you have? Even me recently, I only just began to form a proper routine that pours into myself, not just into a job. For a long time, I feel like I felt a bit lost because I didn't have that time alone, because all I was doing was working. I was working 6 days a week, 1 day off, which was a Sunday, all the way from about 9 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the night, going to both jobs, back and forth. I had no time to pour into myself. I didn't even know who I was, guys. I literally felt lost. I felt like, who is Talia? For a long time, I'd known myself, and then all of a sudden, I was like, who even are you? Because on top of that, I'm growing, I'm becoming a woman, I'm becoming a lady, but then throughout this time, I'm pouring so much into a 9 to 5 that I don't even know who I am. Like, redefining success is really important. Success equals balance, not just income. All these things we forget, and that's why everybody's always on autopilot. That's why everybody's always feeling anxious. That's why everybody's always feeling worried, because they don't even know who they are. You can build an identity outside of work, having hobbies, doing fitness, doing exercise. Like, I've noticed recently that exercise is such an important thing. Having a routine is such an important thing, because it helps you know what you like outside of a job, helps you know what you like outside of just work. I guess from this video, that I want you guys to understand is, your job is your job, and it's not who you are. Because the minute that job is taken away from you, who are you outside of that? Do you have hobbies? What is your favorite food? What do you like to do outside of work? Like, and then on top of it, you're at home in your sanctuary, and all you're thinking about is work, autopilot. You get 2 days to rest, the weekend, some of us, and throughout that time you don't even want to pour into yourself. You just want to sleep because you're so tired from the week, and then it starts again, and then you have no time for yourself. Like, my point is, a job can easily be taken away from you, so can money. And I feel like the most important thing to have is your identity outside of that, and knowing who you are outside of that. If you don't have that, then you have nothing, and then you just end up sad, depressed, worried and anxious because you tied your whole worth, you tied your whole identity to a job that can be taken away in seconds. And from when that's the case, we have some major concerns, guys. We have some major concerns, because that should never be the case. I know it's kind of hard to say, especially when you are working a lot, but when you aren't working and when you do have the time, try and find a little bit of time to pour into yourself, set a routine. I know it can be hard, especially because of time management, but just try and find your identity outside of a job, because the minute that is taken away from you, you are nobody. And that's why it's also important. My partner speaks about this to me all the time, and just building your value, like, it's so important, because AI is taking over jobs, and then when you lose your job because of AI, what are you going to do? That's why it's so important to build your value, so when things like that get taken away, you know who you are, you're firm in who you are, because you've learned all these things. You know that you are valuable. For me right now, I'm reading more books, I'm learning a language, I'm literally working out every single day, feeding my brain stuff that is important, so I know that I'm building my self-value, so that I know no job can make me question my value and question my worth. Like, pouring into yourself is so important, building your value, reading books, going online, doing research and stuff like that. You will never ever be in a position to question your value and question your worth. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I'm really trying with this, and I'm also at the same time working on my communication skills. So if you liked what you heard today, like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. I'm going to be covering a range of different topics. It's not just going to be as serious as this one today, but every Sunday is the day. So if you liked this video, as I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.